also wearing white with gold, officially weighing in at 159 and 1/2 pounds. His professional record.
Huge crowd in attendance, many of them on their feet in anticipation for this much anticipated fight. According to Showstats,
Canelo is confident he's heading into the fight with the intention to win against Scull, but Scull has made it clear that he's no easy opponent.
With this Cuban style of boxing, what kind of fight are you expecting to this man, William Scull?
I expect the same. At the beginning, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm different Canelo now, and he's going to feel it Saturday.
Since the fight was announced, Canelo has appeared fully focused and determined, making one thing clear: he plans to punish William Scull. He didn't travel halfway around the world just to secure a narrow win. This isn't just another title defense for him. It's his first fight outside North America, and it marks the beginning of a new 4-fight deal with a Saudi Arabian promotional brand.
Canelo fans, please pray for Canelo. He's about to fight William Scull in Saudi. Pray for Canelo, bro. Pray for Canelo, bro.
Bro, but don't you get it? Canelo will never lose because Turkey needs him to win.
Yeah, he's not gonna lose.
There's no way Turkey. There's no way Turkey gets his Crawford fight if Canelo loses. So that's not happening.
It's a deeper.
In his latest verbal exchange, Canelo didn't hold back in expressing his feelings about Scull. When Scull mentioned eating well on Saturday, Canelo fired back instantly, saying, "The only thing on his plate will be my right hand." This kind of cold, confident threat isn't new for Canelo, but it always hits with precision. Every time he speaks, it's as if he's reminding his opponent, and the world, that talk doesn't win fights. The ring does, and that's where the truth will be revealed.
Canelo, can I get your remarks on Skull's comments that he said he's going to eat you in the ring on Saturday night?
I have my kids here. If no, I can say what he's going to eat on Saturday. But he's going to eat punches. That's what he's going to eat. In that way, he's going to eat.
Canelo has been in the spotlight since his teenage years, facing legends like Floyd Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Caleb Plant. He's fought across different weight classes, constantly challenging himself, and has always made it clear he wants to be remembered as one of the greats. Now, he's chasing another milestone, undisputed status once again. This fight against Scull is a crucial step on that journey. However, while Canelo's path is decorated with belts and big names, William Scull enters the ring hungry and unbeaten.
I'm taking nothing away from Scull. I see what could be a very handy, if not easy, win for Canelo.
Yeah, matches up to the minus 6,600 line according to Las Vegas.
Is that all it is? Minus 6,600?
Yeah, that's it.
The Cuban fighter boasts an undefeated 23-0 record with 9 knockouts, and he's coming off a victory against Vladimir Shishkin that earned him the IBF title, the very same IBF belt Canelo once held before vacating it to pursue other bouts. That alone adds extra tension to this matchup. Scull isn't just fighting to defend his belt, he's aiming to defeat the man who let it go as if it didn't matter. That's powerful motivation for any fighter, especially one like Scull, who's had to fight for everything he has.
To be a two-time undisputed fighter, so that's all about.
You mentioned the Cuban style up there. What other challenges does Scull present to you?
Oh, he's a very skillful fighter. He's have a lot of talent, but I've been in the with all kind of the styles, so I can adapt myself to any fighter.
Scull doesn't carry himself like the typical flashy underdog. He's calm, almost cold, in his approach, focusing on strategy rather than emotions. He shows little interest in taunts or hype. "I fled Cuba, crossed borders, and now I'm here to win," he said, summing up his journey in one sentence. He understands the stakes of this fight. He's not here just to put on a good performance. He's here to win, and he believes he can. While the media might focus on Canelo and fans might cheer for the Mexican superstar, Scull has nothing to lose, and fighters like that are always dangerous.
Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, you've been a part of 66 professional fights. Does number 67 this week feel a little bit different?
Feels the same for me. I love boxing, I enjoy boxing, and for me it's the same. I'm very excited to be here in Riyadh. That's the only change. It's one of my dreams, fighting in another country. Now I'm about to do it. I'm excited. It's the same for me. It's the same, excited, motivated.
However, not everyone is convinced Scull has what it takes. Recently, Nigel Benn shared a harsh story about Scull's sparring session with his son, Conor Benn. According to Nigel, Scull appeared gassed by the 4th round, started asking for breaks by the 5th, and didn't come out for the 8th. If true, that sparring rumor could raise some red flags. Nigel said, he was sitting on the ring ropes because he was kind of tired. Conor put it on him. He couldn't even come out for the 8th round. It's a tough assessment, and it's not the kind of talk you want circulating before facing one of the sport's biggest names.
You know, Nigel's a religious man, so he's not really going to want to lie. But it's very hard to believe. Look at the size difference between Conor Benn and William Scull. Skull's absolutely huge compared to him. Second of all, Skull's probably in the hardest training camp of his life. He's training to fight Canelo. I doubt he's getting stopped by Conor Benn, who's way smaller than him. It's hard to believe.
However, sparring is just sparring. It doesn't define a fighter. Skull's supporters will argue that everyone has bad days in training, and what truly matters is how you perform under the lights, with the gloves on and the world watching. There are also respected voices backing Scull to do more than just survive. David Morrell, an unbeaten rising star himself, has said outright that Scull is being underestimated. Morrell has been watching and studying Skull's amateur fights and believes the Cuban has a real shot. He's very strong, very dedicated, and disciplined, Morrell said, adding that if the judges are fair and do their job, Scull could pull off what would be one of the year's biggest upsets.
The fact that round, I think 5, he was up, no, because Conor only has 40 seconds rest. And then what he was doing in between the middle of the rounds, he was sitting on the rope because he was tired. Then it came to round 5, 6, 7, started feeling the pace. This is William Scull, IBF champion.
Superstar.
And then
Morrell's comments carry weight because he's not just speaking as a fan, he's another fighter preparing for his own battle against David Benavidez, a name frequently mentioned as a potential future opponent for Canelo. So when someone like Morrell says to pay attention to Scull, it's worth listening to. Fighters can often spot things that casual fans miss. They notice habits, movements, and strengths that don't always make it onto highlight reels. And Morrell seems convinced that Scull is a real threat in this fight.
Nothing's telling me that Canelo will stop William Scull. I think yes, Scull obviously beats Shishkin to win the vacant title last October, but I mean, I don't think he's great. The rest of his record is fairly padded, in my opinion. Yes, Canelo probably is past his best. We'll come to that next, but I still think he's got enough to maybe even stop Scull. So I'll go with Canelo. It'll be at second half of the fight stoppage for me. Around 8, 9, 10.
Adding even more intrigue to this fight week is the looming presence of Terence Crawford. Canelo vs Scull isn't happening in a vacuum. Everyone knows that a win for Canelo sets the stage for a mega showdown with Crawford in September. That clash could determine the true undisputed king at super middleweight. Crawford, a master technician and undisputed champion at welterweight, would be moving up to face the bigger Canelo. This matchup is already being teased by Turki Al-Alshik, who has been pouring money and ambition into Saudi boxing events.
Fight Terence Crawford around September. But he has William Scull in front of him, a guy who's hungry and has a really huge opportunity. Canelo Alvarez, kind of in a small decline. Not saying that he is. I love Canelo, my favorite boxer ever. But Canelo in these recent fights have made the fights a lot closer than they should be against his opponents. I'm expecting Canelo to get the win. I don't know if he's going to get a knockout or a decision, but I think the fight's going to be a lot closer than people may.
But what if Canelo doesn't get past Scull? That's where the stakes get even higher. A whole blueprint is being drawn up, titles on the line, money on the table, legacy moments in the making, and Scull is the one man standing in the way. He knows it. He knows he wasn't the first choice. He knows Canelo could have faced Edgar Berlanga instead. But now that he's here, Scull seems ready to seize the spotlight by force.
You feel slighted?
I could have had the Skull fight. No, you know that? I had Skull on my DM. Me and him was talking. He was telling me send the contract. He made a video, send me the contract. I was gonna beat him. Like Skull was easy work. Now Canelo gotta come, cause he want that undisputed. And look, now he's fighting Skull and me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's about this, bro. And if
even Amir Khan, who has shared the ring with both Canelo and Crawford, had something to say. In a recent interview, he focused more on Crawford, praising his intelligence, speed, and underrated power. You need everything in the game: IQ, movement, power, speed. Crawford has it all, Khan said, pointing out that many don't give Crawford enough credit for how hard he hits. While Khan's comments were more about the potential Canelo versus Crawford fight, they highlight something important: Canelo's power is feared, but Crawford's mind might be what wins him fights. All these predictions and discussions are part of what makes this moment so charged. On one hand, you have Canelo, the veteran superstar, battle-tested, sharp, and always dangerous. On the other, you have Scull, the quiet storm, a man who's been through real struggle, carrying that Cuban grit, and who has never lost. One man is protecting his legacy, the other is building one. Yet, the ring doesn't care about stories, headlines, sparring rumors, or future plans.
Like me, I can adapt myself to any style, and this is not gonna be the exception. But you know, it's a champion, and I wanna be undisputed again, and I think it's a good match for me.
Once the bell rings in Riyadh, it's just two men and a test of wills. Canelo says it'll be different for Scull, and he probably means it, but Scull says he's calm, ready, and strategic. He's been through too much to fold now. Some people are already planning the next chapter for Canelo, while others are wondering if Scull can flip the script. But what do you think? Do you see Canelo falling anytime soon?